business challenges that you faced when you are starting out now in business, and how did you overcome those challenges?
So I started business when I was still in the bank. So I was quite comfortable. The salary was good. So it sustained some
How
of the
good is
things.
good?
It was really good. It
Really
was
good.
really good. Yeah. It was really good. Let's say north of 50.
Yeah.
North of 50 in Botswana at my age at the time. It was a lot of money, really. I could afford any car. I could afford to stay in any house. So I started the business 2 years before I left. I was doing insurance, so it was quite easy for me to get business, and business was coming. And then 2 years later, I decided, you know what, I think this business is making more money for me than what I'm doing at work. So I think, and also there was a bit of conflict of interest. I was like, I can't keep on staying here. I need to leave and see where this business can go. That year was 2019. So I had a bit of savings, and then my package from work put together. I set up a proper business. I set up an office, a nice building, nicely decorated, because I like to do a bit of interior design. I had paintings there. I had a boardroom. It was looking pretty. And then
Karaka,
the,
when obula listen too strong.
so yeah, it looked really nice. It looked really professional. But here was the problem.
Yeah.
What I didn't understand then was that the type of business that I had ventured into didn't need people to come to my office.
What business was it?
I was doing insurance.
Okay, it's always
Yeah.
been insurance.
Yeah. So then I spent all the money in the aesthetics, image. And then what happened?
Wait, when you
Yeah.
say insurance, do you mean insurance brokerage?
Yes.
Insurance brokerage. Okay.
Yes.
You need people on the field.
You need people on the field. You have to also be on the field, right? Because I was literally starting out. So what happened during just before, you remember COVID started December of 2019. It was the same year.
Yeah, towards 2020.
Yeah.
Towards into 2020.
Just when the business was about to pick up, COVID happened. I had no cash, nothing, right? All the money was spent in the office. The office had to be shut down. We had to stay at home. And at the time, our business was very difficult because we were not even permitted to go and see people. So you couldn't write business, right? And most of the insurance underwriters locally, they want original documents. They don't do soft copies. So you had to go and get the client to sign, collect the documentation, and submit it to the underwriter. So we couldn't do that. And then also we couldn't do presentations because my greatest skill of getting business was really doing the presentation. So I'll do a presentation to people like this, 100 people, and then I'll write 10. That's a huge success for me, right? I couldn't gather people. I couldn't put people together.
To make money, you must gather people in rooms like this.
To make money, you must gather people. And at the time, remember, I was working for a corporate. We had good interest rates that were running for our loans. I was working for a bank. So when I had left, I had to go to commercial rates. So the interest kind of doubles from there. So it was very difficult for me to afford my loans. So what happened during that period, I had to experience repossessions, cars, threats on the house. And at the time, you can't do anything. You can't even promise the bank anything. When they say, when are you paying? You're like, guys, I'm home. I don't even know when these lockdowns are going to be over. I can't even guarantee that I'm going to be able to pay next month. So during that period, I was friends with I was friends with a lot of lawyers. Not my friends, but lawyers who were tasked with coming after me. I was friends with a lot of lawyers. A lot of sheriffs would call. I got to engage with such people. For the first time, I learned what it feels like to go to court. That was my whole experience during COVID as these things were happening. So I realized one thing during that time, and I think it was good that it happened at that time. because I was just leaving work. I couldn't go back to work because no one was employing during COVID.
They didn't know what's going on.
They didn't know what's going on. So I didn't have that option, right? So I had to think. So during that period, I was like, this one income thing, even in business, is too dangerous. That's when I started writing Masheleng. I wrote Masheleng during COVID. Masheleng started selling. And then I started,
You read Masheleng while going through Masheleng.
while going through Masheleng. Yeah, so I.
What inspired the name?
Masheleng.
Yes. Was it a response to the sheriffs?
No, I
Or,
didn't.
or it was just
I didn't.
ignored all of that and said, let's write a book,
I didn't even
address
name
the
it.
subject.
I didn't even name it. I was writing a book. I didn't know what the title was going to be. So before COVID happened, there was a TV program of a friend. He was running a morning show. And then he was like, look, dude, you have a lot of content to give on finance. Can you come over? We can create a program and then you can just teach finance maybe for some 10 minutes, 15
I was
minutes.
trying to help you out.
Well, at the time, I was still at the bank.
Oh, when you were still
Yes, I was still at the bank. So it was just a thing of content to say, look, because I was writing a lot at the time, I was not doing videos. I was writing a lot, yes, on social media. Right. So he was like, no, you write good stuff, people respond to your stuff. Why don't you just come and speak? I was like, I'm not a TV guy, and he kept on saying, no, let's try, let's see how people are going to respond. So when we started the program, we were, juggling around with the name of the program. What are we going to call the program? He was like, no, let's just call it Masheleng because you speak about money and you speak about it in the local language. So Sheleng resonates well with Botswana. So let's just call it Masheleng. And then we decided to call it Masheleng. So when I was writing the book, I was lost in how I should be, titling the book. And then I was like, wow. But now people know me from that program, and it's Masheleng, and I run that program. Let me just call the book Masheleng. And then I called the book Masheleng. And then, with business sometimes, you never know. I mean, I didn't know that Masheleng was going to be Masheleng that it is today. Right now, it's so difficult to an extent that I can't even tell people my name and they remember it. They have to call me Masheleng. Right? Wherever I go, people like, Mr. Masheleng, Mr. Masheleng, That's the problem with branding, eh?
Branding.
Right now you can't wear a yellow suit.
I can't.
They want black.
So then you write the book. Was the writing of the book in response to the fact that you realized that some doors had been closed for your insurance company temporarily, by the way?